Howdy there, IoT makers. Quick little video for you on how to use GPIO as an external wake-up source for an ESP32. In this case, I'm using my favorite little ESP32, the more expensive of the varieties out there, but the Huzzah 32 has an awesome battery connector. That flashing light is just complaining that there's no battery connected. I am using a simple door switch, the input variant of the light in the IoT world, I think. What I want to do is I want to have a battery-powered ESP32 that wakes up when the door is open, sends information to MQTT or something, and then when the door is closed, turns itself off and goes into deep sleep until such time as the door opens again. This is a place where timers are really easy to use, but obviously aren't helpful in this application. So you've got to use GPIOs. So this is how I did it with MongooseOS. Right now, you can see it's pulling a decent amount of power. And right now, the console shows that the door is open. The sensor is apart. So if I bring it together, you will see on my console that it detected the GPIO just fired. I put in a little funny wait there for you. And good night. And now the thing is asleep. And if we look at my little tester here, you'll notice that we're pulling very little power. So, and that's within spec of what it should be using in deep sleep. So it's sitting there in deep sleep. Now, the trick is, can I wake it up? So if I open the door, you will notice it has already come immediately to life. The program's initialized, and now it's sitting there waiting to do stuff because the door is open. Currently, I don't have Wi-Fi set up on this yet, so the power does not reflect usage of the Wi-Fi radio, but this is just getting the preliminaries sort of figured out. So the trick to getting this to work, and I'll go ahead and close the door again here, and she'll go back to sleep. You can't do this in JavaScript. You have to do this in C, C++ more specifically, and there's a couple of things that you'll need to pull out of the ESP32 in order to get this to work, a couple of drivers. Now, the great thing about Mongoose, one of the things I love about it is that it provides all these great crutches to help you get going quick and easy with a lot of different things. And then as you get deeper and deeper and deeper, it fully exposes the ESP32, so you can sort of ease into it slowly. If you've just tried to go and download and install and get the ESP32 set up and start building projects with it, it's really daunting to get started with it. You got to get a good ways down the road before it's comfortable. But this gives you sort of all the safety that you need to sort of ease slowly into it. So I'm including some of the headers from ESP32. They're already there. The go to sleep function here is really simple. It really only requires two functions: ESP sleep enable ext0 wake up, and then I define the pin and whether I want it high or low as the wake up. And then once I'm ready to actually put it to sleep, I just tell it to sleep start. So it's pretty simple. There's only one real trick, and I wrote a bunch of helper functions in here. There's one trick that you need to know that frustrated me for a while, and that is that the device would go to sleep, but when it would wake back up, GPIO wouldn't read properly. And so it never went back to its original state. And the way to get around that was this RTC GPIO D init. So that deconfigures the pin as an RTC pin and makes it just sort of a normal GPIO pin. And then the pin works exactly the way you want. So when I start up, so this is very early in the applications running, the first thing I do before I do anything with GPIO is just de-init the pin that I used for the wake up so that it begins to operate the way that I expected it to. And of course, when I go and define that the wake up procedure, it will re-init it as an RTC pin, and everything will work the way it needs to. So that's the one trick. If you've been playing around and you've been frustrated that there's odd behavior after it wakes up, this is probably your reason you need to de-init the pin. There you go. It works. It's simple. It's easy. It's cool. I've got a couple of different applications that are going to be fun to do with it. So there you go.